and welcome back to the Dennis Herrera Show. Happy Wednesday! Hump Day! Hump Day, Hump Day, Hump Day! Uh, I love that commercial. Hey, welcome back to the Dennis Herrera Show, guys. Hey, listen, I was going to be live hours ago, but I've been having issues with my monitors. For some reason, they were not being recognized. I had to do a bunch of troubleshooting and change this and change that. And well, by the time that I decided to pull the trigger on, I'm just going to go ahead and buy new cables before I decide that I'm going to go and buy new monitors. I was going to hit order, and then my monitors flickered, and boom, it just came right on. just Oh boy, I'm telling you, man, if it's not one thing, it's another. Let me see who we got in here so far. I'd be surprised if I was gonna hit order. There we go. I'm sorry, I got to check to see who's in here. Marvin Bernal says hi, man. The first one here today. Marvin, oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Dennis Mora, what the hell is Mora? I don't know what that is, Marvin. You have to, you're going to have to elaborate on that one. My man, what's going on, my brother? Man, I love having my Patriots in here, man. You know what? You veterans, man, you mean a lot to me. You really do. You know, the veterans that I make fun of, the ones that I don't appreciate, are those veterans who they just forgot what they served our country, you know? It's sad to say it that way, but I just, man, it's just such a disappointment. But I'm so proud. I am so proud uh, of the military people that we get. You know, there's always going to be bad apples, and all this other stuff, but I am so happy that I have met mostly good veterans, and I have a lot of family. Listen, I have a lot of family in the military, and I appreciate their service, man. You know, I wish my kids will serve in the military. I really do, and I really wish that they were under the command of General Kane and Pete Hegseth, and regardless of what people think about them. It's okay. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I think that there are some things that they might make mistakes on. Um, you know, who am I? I'm not in charge of missions and things like that. So I'll leave it to the experts for that. Norma Myra, you know one and the other. Oh, I see. Yeah, there is one. I guess I know who you're talking about. I think I know who you're talking about. Thank you, Marvin. Let me go ahead and just get situated here while we wait for other people to join us. Give me a second to get some updates on here. You know, this is one of the things that I think sometimes I push myself a little bit too much on trying to get perfection for my show, which is is pathetic that I'm going to try to get perfection on my show. But nonetheless, I think that is important that I do my due diligence. And yeah, yeah, yeah. Dun, dun, dun. What did you guys like about that? Did you guys like the introduction music there? That's the kind of music that I like for introductions. I really appreciate those. All right, man. I think only you two guys, man. Only you, only man and Marvin. You guys have been waiting for me to come on, man. Damn. What's going on? Nobody. You know what? I didn't get a notification on my phone either. Very interesting. Yeah, I got no notification. What's going on? Man, I love that beat, man. I might have to play it again. Yeah, take it easy, Marvin. We're gonna go ahead and get started. I got a few things that I'm gonna go over today, but I want to start with. Hey, don't worry about it. No big deal. And this is my picture. One finger is not the middle finger, by the way, just in case somebody was wondering about that. But I want to go ahead and start off with my local news here in Washington State. This is from KCPQ 13, Fox 13 here in Seattle, Washington. I think I may have talked about this before. Some people don't believe me. They think I'm making things up. I don't know. They like to come into my channel and say that I'm always telling lies. Let me see. Join the conversation. How come I can't open the? Oh, okay, because it's already open, dummy. Okay, I want to make sure that I got both versions of the chat in here. Hold on, guys. Coyote. Ow! Liked up on this side. I'm assuming he's going to go to the portrait side. When you guys go in there and just leave, it just doesn't help the algorithm. Oh, man. All right, we got 5 people watching on there. All right, okay. Well, one of them is me. One of them is me watching on the landscape screen here. Yeah. You got to have both of them open, man, so you can have both of the chats going on at the same time. You are allowed to have that, guys. So if you guys want, if you're on a computer, obviously, if you're on a computer, if you're on a mobile device, it's not going to happen. That's just not the way it's going to work. All right. So with that being said, let me see. Okay, let's put it there. All right, here we go. So we're going to go ahead and listen to the local news here from Washington State, and then we're going to move on to the next topics. But I do have a clip. Listen, I've been listening to 3.5 hours of the grilling of Pete Hegseth and Raising Cane. I'm telling you, it is brutal. Now, sometimes, some of the questions that they ask, they're legit. They're legit. But other questions is just they're not really questions. You know what I'm saying? It's more like accusations and okay, my time's up. Bye. It's like, bro, I thought you were supposed to be questioning these people. Instead of just like ranting for 4 minutes and 50 seconds, and then you're gonna decide, oh, it's 5 minutes and my time is up. Thank you for not answering my question. It is ridiculous, but I do have a segment that I want to share with you. I set it to it so that you guys can hear it. I think it's the right one, and it is about our military people. Very sad. It was very moving. I hope I got the right clip because it's hours. Hey, on Candy House, what's going on, baby? It's hours of footage. So I hope I got the right clip. I didn't even listen to it. I just stopped right where she started talking. And we'll listen to it eventually. But right now I want to go ahead and hit my local news. And then we're going to move on. I got to be out of here by 2 p.m. Remind me that. 2 p.m. Western time. You like that? Western time? That's Pacific time. Let's see. Yeah, it's all good, Coyotes. I see you, baby. I see you. Don't worry about it, man. All right. I do appreciate you guys hitting the like button. If you haven't already done so, share this video. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Become members if you want to support me the extra mile. Oh, boy. Ignorant and arrogant. Thank you, JS, and good morning to you too, sir. And Planet says, how about them New York City No Kings protest? Oh, that's right. They're not happening. Even if they happen, man, they always get... it's very interesting, right? If you really look at it, think about this. If you really look at this No Kings protest, I'll say this. Mr. Mr. Left Foot Louie, so sad that you're here. But here, what I noticed about this No Kings protest, hi Lisa, good morning. It's, when you tell the LGBTQ people that they need to be mindful of others, not just their selfish reasons for being LGBTQ. They think that President Trump is trying to be king because of that, because we don't want it. And if you tell people to stop mutilating our children, they say that because Trump, I was about to say King Trump, because Trump says he doesn't want to have our kids mutilated, they think he's king and he's just trying to tell them what to do. Every single group, it is so ridiculous. And on top of that, of course, you got the pay protesters, and then you got the illegal immigrants, and you got this, like all these people making all this fuss. Leftists, they don't understand that if you are against us, you are against America, because the majority of the people that are protesting us right now are illegal immigrants and those who are enemies to our country, and you don't even realize that because you guys have no critical thinking skills. But you should try it. You should try it someday. You know, I think it's so amazing that people keep bringing up some old stuff. Like, seriously, old stuff. Even those things, like, yeah, like the Miss Teen USA. I talked about this. You know what, Mr. Left Foot? That's enough out of you. Get the freak out of my channel. Out of here. Off with your garbage. This motherfucker, I have given him so many chances to be able to say something nice, and the guy is just such a retard, extreme leftist. Go ahead, Richard. Bring it on. Let's see. Miss Teen USA, we talked about that. Stormy Daniels was hush money. She got the money, and she got sued on top of that. Inflation has been happening since before President Trump. Gas prices were higher under Joe Biden's administration. What else you got? Yeah. What else you got? Yeah, bye, fool. Let me help you out. Get the hell out of my channel. Get your raggedy, shitty ass out of my channel. Don't come back. These guys, they think they're gonna come over here and just tell me what to do. That's not how it happens. That's not how it works. It's not how it works. As a matter of fact, we come in here with some facts. Here we go. Dosito, what's going on, baby? I see you, man. I see you. Here we go. The first news here to this morning is going to be when I say that, Shaky, that is your blue state. Don't blame Trump for that shit. Go find out how much is the barrel of oil right now. Go find out. Go. Do it now. Do it. Now, go find out how much was the barrel of oil under Biden. Go. Do it right now. Exactly. Juan, have a good day, bro. Thanks for stopping by. Shaky, thanks for stopping by. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. I don't want to be the cause of your sadness today. I don't want to cause you guys any burdens or anything that's going to give you a heart attack or make you turn yourself into it or a gender fluid crazy rainbow person. Yeah, we don't want that. At least he isn't having a debate with himself like last night. Oh, bro, mic drop. Oh, man. Dosito, man. May he rest in peace, brother. Condolences. May God give you strength. All right? There's nothing more that I can really say right now. Let's take a look at this, man. I get very curious with some stuff, man. Let me bring this over here so I don't have to turn my neck like a damn goose. Let's see what we got. $160. Oh, my gosh. It's a good thing that I can check the barrel of oil right now, and it's at 106. Maybe you're talking about Biden's gas price. No, Zavon says $150 right now for a barrel of oil. Do you see this? Do you see the ludicrous lies? It is unbearable. It is unbearable to me. It's crazy that these people are that retarded that they think that we're not going to go and find out what the price of the oil is. Listen, we know it's high. We know the oil is high. You know what? Let's do this. Why don't we do this? Let me go ahead and share this chart real quick about what's going on, okay? Because, we know prices are going to go up. We get it, all right? Thank you, Russ. Listen. Let me see. Russ. Well, thanks for stopping by, bro. We're not going to put up with shit today. No, you guys got to go. Even if you're in my landscape mode where I want people to be on, I'm not going to put up with BS, okay? 30-minute timeout. Go to the corner and think about it. Think about what you did wrong. Z-Fan, if you lie on my channel again, you're going to be banned from my channel. If you don't care about being on my channel, have a nice day. Okay? Oh, my God. Vilma, are you in California? You got to be on a blue state. You have to be. You have to be either in New York or in California to pay that price. Here in Washington State, we're paying $5.09 right now. And that's $1.50 above the actual price of the gas. Now, the libtards leave because they know that they're freaking lying. I want you to know something. Just because I am supporting Trump right now because of the policies that we have, you have to understand something. The leftists will lie to you about everything. And just what I said, I'm going to show you a chart of what's going on with the oil prices, they leave just like that. Then they come over here and say, oh, this guy just doesn't like us because we're disagreeing with him. Yeah, because you're lying. If you're not lying, hey, you're welcome to stick around. It's okay to disagree with me if I am lying. But I'm not. I'm telling you facts. And here are the facts. Well, first of all, that's not the facts. Oh, man. Let's get back to this one here. Let me see. Sorry, I was troubleshooting my computer earlier, and so I think that the my address to the to my display changed. So let me go ahead and change that. And we want you, yeah, right there. And we're going to show that. Not there. Here. There we go. All right. So here's the display. Here's the browser. Man, it's a good thing I'm a genius. I love that I know technology, man. Enough. So here we go. So $106.84 is where we're at right now, okay? Now, the Brent crude oil is at 117. This is high. It really is high, okay? But what I don't want is people coming in here lying to me. $150 a barrel of oil, maybe in a different country, maybe a different coin. I don't know what he was talking about. It is high, and I want these prices to come down. Absolutely. Let's see. My daughter lives in the Bay and pays more for gas. Man, I was listening to the debates in California. And I'm telling you, I am very hopeful for California. Now, you got to take it with a grain of salt because I really don't trust politicians, man. I just don't trust politicians, just like I don't trust lawyers. They're both liars. They'll say anything to get elected, and I don't like that. But I'm hoping that having a change in government is going to make a difference. Okay, that's what I'm hoping for. So with that being said, don't let anybody lie to you. If they come over here and they start lying to you, you go do your research and you go find out yourself. Okay, and there is the numbers right there, right on the screen. Okay, I don't have to make it up. I tell you what I see, and that's it. I don't make anything up to you. Okay, for you. I tell you just how it is. It really gets on my nerves when people just come in here and try to lie about things that, they know that people are worried about. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous that they do that. But, anyway, let's go ahead and get into our news. Let's start with our first clip here from my local news channel here in Washington State. Let's take a listen to this, and then we'll move up the ladder. Mods, if somebody comes in here with a stupid insult or just a dumbass comment or a lie that you know is a lie, just get rid of them, bro. Just get rid of them. Just keep people in here that want to have a conversation, that really think with their brains and not with their ass. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm asking. Just come in here, man. Use your brains, will you? Stop being an idiot, please. Listen, I don't know if you're a minor. I don't know if you're just, naturally retarded, if you're ignorant, if you're mentally incapable of making sense. I don't know what the reason is, okay? But whatever the reason is, I don't know if you got paid. I don't know if you're just resentful. I don't know what it is. my favorite legal immigrant, and now a citizen, Dennis. Thank you, Coyotes. It's good to see you as my member here. You are a private as a member. I think sergeants are my plus, and the generals are my highest pay on there. But either way, I thank you guys for supporting my channel. All right, here we go.
A massive failure in government oversight. Now there's a push for a new watchdog after a Seattle Times investigation revealed a King County program manager allegedly funneled over $800,000 to her own family. Local leaders are now calling for an inspector general to catch problems before they start. So Fox 13's Alejandro Guzman has this story after another money scandal hit King County Regional Homelessness Authority just last week.
It's a breach of trust rocking the county community and human services department. According to a Seattle Times investigation, Yolanda McGee, a program manager, handed her family over $800,000. The Seattle Times reports nearly $813,000 trickled down to her brothers, daughter, her cousin, and even her sister-in-law, all through subcontracts while she ran an anti-racism youth program.
Angry, stupefied, sick. I just can't believe that was allowed to persist, particularly once it was identified. Absolutely wrong.
As Fox 13 previously reported, the warning signs were there all along. Former council member Kathy Lambert told Fox 13 she requested an audit in December of 2020, which she claims was brushed aside. The 2025 audit warned of wanton disregard. Simply put, who cares for taxpayer dollars at DCHS?
You were first sworn in 2013. Fox 13 has evidence that council members knew about this potential fraud as long as 2 years ago. Why are we just now hearing about this now?
These reports are new information to me. We have budgeting authority, we have legislating authority, and we have oversight authority. We don't run the day-to-day operations of the government.
The task now, making sure this doesn't happen again. The plan? A new independent inspector general with the power to subpoena witnesses and recover stolen cash. Council members Reagan Dunn, Sarah Perry, and Pete Von Reichbauer are co-sponsoring the move to give the county teeth. In a statement, Dunn saying in part, quote, taxpayers have had enough. They deserve a government that delivers real accountability for financial wrongdoing and provides tangible results. McGee, who was hired in 2018, was fired in January. But the question of criminal charges remains at the hands of the King County prosecutor. Legislation on the new inspector general is set to be introduced Tuesday.
One tap and then let it go.
All right, so we are joined by Ali right now. And Ali, let's go back to DCHS for a second. You talked about this lady who obviously was managing one of the programs.
Before we continue, I want to point out, guys, we always tell them. They always call us liars. We tell them there's fraud going on. They say that we're lying. We tell them that they're taking our tax money for stupid whatever. What am I thinking about? For stupid organizations or causes. They say we're lying, and then we're looking at the public records and it's telling us what they're using this money for. And they say we're lying. And then they wonder when they actually get caught, when they get investigated, by the DOJ, or they actually get caught with their hands red-handed, that's all they do. They tell us that we lie. They say that everything that we say is, there you go, like Zoo Boy. This guy has been retarded since he joined my channel. He also says that I'm brainwashed. Brainwashed from what? It's right there. There's proof. What are you talking about? Who's brainwashed? The retard that doesn't see the scam right in front of their faces? The retard that doesn't acknowledge that hundreds of billions of dollars have been stolen from the American taxpayers? Who is brainwashed? The retard who thinks that the Biden administration was the greatest thing that happened to this country? Who's the retard? The one that complains about gas prices right now, that we're actually doing a war over there in Iran, and we didn't have any attacks on anybody during Biden, and the prices were higher. The barrel of oil was at $130. Who's the retards? The ones that never complained during the Biden administration and voted that garbage in there? Or those who are trying to make a change for the better of our country? Kevin, there's some guys that we just boot because they always come and say that. But this is what happens in my channel, bro. Every single day. If you come into my channel every day, you'll see what I'm talking about. We already know who the trolls are. And listen, and you know what? I get them out of jail. You know, jail is, they're banned. I get them out of there because I think that there's a lot of people in there that are good. But, I'm not going to sit there and pick to see who's going to get out of there. I can tell you, I got over 100 people in there right now. I got over 100 people that have been banned from my channel. And maybe that kind of messes up the traffic coming through my channel. But you know what? Whatever. I don't care. Because if they're just going to come over here and just lie to us, I'm not going to allow them to come into my channel to spew their garbage and to spew their hate and their lies. You can disagree with me all you want. And listen, at some point, we got to be able to have a conversation. If you know that you can't convince me to do something, have a nice day. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince anybody. I'm here just to give the information out that I have, and that's it. This is why, when I can do my lives on my phone. Many podcasters do that. Many YouTubers do that. Many leftist people do that. That's why their hats is backwards. That's why the words are backwards. But you know what? I try to do a little bit of an investment actually using a professional camera, monitors, etc. I'm not saying that, that I'm better. But what I'm saying is I make an effort to bring you some information. So if I say something, I got something to show you. That's what I'm saying. And so I tell you the information about oil. Boom, I show you the oil. I show you the graph. Live feed. I know gas prices are higher, yes, but are even higher in blue states, in any state that adds a lot of regulation taxes and then taxes on top of those taxes. That's the problem that we have. Yeah, rhinos is a big problem. Yeah, rhinos are a big problem. And I'm not even gonna defend Republicans. I'm sorry, reps. I'm not gonna defend Republicans. I defend Americans who stand for the United States of America. I defend Americans who want to put American lives first before any illegal immigrants. Anybody that puts illegal immigrants before Americans, I am against you. Just so that you know, okay? All right. I've been on the lookout for USA microphone tips for you, Dennis. I appreciate you, Samuel. You know what? It's like I know. Sometimes my mic clips, if that's what you're talking about. But I know how to change the volume on there. But some people complain. Remember, I got a lot of old people on my channel. They can't hear that good, so I got to crank it up. You know what I'm saying? Jason Beatrice, absolutely 100%. I am with you with that. I think that smaller governor is best. Plus, we use a lot less money of our tax money for that. Lisa says that ICE got paid. Did I miss something? I must have missed the news. If that is true, fantastic. I am happy for that. Thank you, Lisa. If anybody else can corroborate on that, please let me know. I do have some good news about this cheating Democrats trying to gerrymander districts. I believe Texas passed. I believe Virginia was thrown in the garbage. And DeSantis is working on his side as well. Many people say, oh, they're celebrating. Oh, big blue wave. Here we go. I'm going to tell you something. Listen. I'm going to try not to yell at this one, but I want you to pay attention very carefully. I would like to think that I'm a guy. Dang it, I didn't take my medicine. I got to take my medicine. But I would like to think that I'm a guy that actually pays attention to what's going on. And one of the things that I noticed is this. Do you remember the time when President Trump was just Sir Donald Trump? And he said he was going to run for president? The leftists, everybody laughed. Do it. Do it. Run for president. Do it. Yeah, well, he did. And then once he put his nominee in, what happened to him? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. They started laughing. Oh, look at this guy. They think that people are going to vote for this clown. No, people are not going to vote for him. And the moment that he started grabbing momentum and moving up, on the stats, all of a sudden, Russia. All of a sudden, President Trump grabbed them by the punani. All of a sudden, President Trump bankrupt. All of a sudden, President Trump adultery. All of a sudden, shut the hell up. But the point is this. Every time that they have seen that President Trump has been gaining momentum, they go and on their fear-mongering tactics, as the socialist Democrats know how to do. And then you notice that after he finished the first term, they try to put his ass in jail. Because if he decided to run again for president, he would win. And they made up lies over lies on top of lies to put him in jail. Shift to shift will be in jail. Just like James Comey. By the way, James Comey, not only did he get indicted, but I heard from a little birdie that he actually has a warrant for his arrest now. So he is going to be arrested if he hasn't. Now, I don't know if he already got grabbed, but he will be arrested if he hasn't been arrested already. With that being said, they made up 34 felonies, some bullshit felonies. I was watching this hearing and I'm like, wait a minute. So you got him on, appraisal on real estate, and then you made 34 felonies out of this? You got to be kidding me. Now you're reaching. On top of that, he was vindicated. On top of that, the people that said on the left side the banks didn't even want to do business with, the banks were doing business with him because they love people that can move money like President Trump. So you know what? I am sick and tired of the lies from the leftists. But the point is this. They get desperate. And they make up this fear-mongering, and they just want to impeach. You know why? Because they can't beat him. They can't beat him. Every single time, the Democrats screw up, they deflect back to hating Trump. Oh, it's Trump's fault. Somebody called him out. What are the people debating for governor right now? Well, it's Trump's. Shut the hell up. Somebody shut him up. He said, well, you say it's Trump. How about your regulation fees? How about your taxes on gas? Why don't you talk about that? Why don't you talk? The things that I say were brought up to this person. Didn't know what to say. Because it's facts. Facts. I can't wait to see what the result is going to be from these things that are happening over there on the Strait of Hormuz. I can't wait to see more bombs being dropped down on this regime. You know, this whole, 3.5 hours, 4 hours of hearing for Pete Hegseth and Raising Cain? Bruh, let me tell you something. It is a painful experience to sit here and listen to that for hours. And you say, Dennis, well, why'd you listen to it for hours? Why don't you just watch it live with us? Because I got to pay attention. I got to know what the hell they're saying. On top of that, I got to be able to, respond to your dumbass comments. And to some of you who actually have common sense. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, I try to find a way that I can just come in here and just give you the best information. It's just my opinion, but it's the best information that I can come up with. If you come into my channel and you just want to trash the people in the chat, don't come back. Just leave. Don't insult the people on my chat, because those people are actually looking for some facts. They're actually looking for a channel where they can communicate and have a conversation and get along. If you come in here and you start insulting the people on my channel, just get the hell out. And my mods know this. People that come in here, the same trolls with different profiles, they come in here and say that we lie on this channel, we just mute everybody that does this. No. We get rid of garbage. We are not going to be putting up with BS. We wanna create a group of people that can have a conversation back and forth. But we get the same trolls over and over and over. You don't have to tell me you're here. Just go by. Don't stick around. Just get the hell off the feed. If I come in through your feed, just block me. Do yourself a favor. Okay? Don't come in here. You don't have to respect us. You don't have to respect the president. You don't have to respect this country. That's fine. But you also don't have to disrespect us, the president, or the country. You understand? So you have a choice of being a person who is courteous, who has courtesy, common sense, or you have the option of being an asshole. And assholes, we don't want in here. Like, for example, spiderweb. Isn't that called censorship, you dipshit? There you go. This is number one. This is not the street. This is my channel. You have the freedom of speech all you want, but you don't have the freedom to come over here and be an asshole in my channel. Okay? That is not the freedom. I'm sorry. You may misunderstand what the freedom of speech is. There is such thing as common courtesy to others. So don't come over here and disrespect people. I'm just saying. If I ever throw something out in the general public, if I say somebody's a libtard or a retard or ignorant, and you jump, bro, that you're calling yourself that. If you're not any of those things, don't respond to it. Go ahead. Oh, you know what? I also like to give people a chance. Kishta, go ahead and tell me what. You said, I've seen you a while. Sorry you don't have common sense. Okay, Kishta, tell me, what is common sense? No, don't block him. I want people to see his comment. Go ahead, Kishta. I'll give you the spotlight. Go for it. Tell me, in what do I not make sense? Just give me one thing. Bernard Penguin says, maybe I have before in the past, and I apologize for that, but now you all just mute me because I go against the word of the leader. It's not just that, it's insults. It's insults. If you coming in here, let me say this. If you coming in here just because you hate President Trump, we're not going to have a conversation. That's all I'm saying. Because your hate doesn't let you use common sense or any critical thinking. Go ahead, Krishna. I'm waiting. This bastard probably left already anyway. All right, let's go ahead and continue with the video, okay? Now, we still got some time. I will open up the phone lines if you guys are courageous enough to call in, and then you can go ahead and teach me all the wisdom that you have, okay? So all my leftist people in here that disagree with me, stick around, and then we'll find out to see how smart you really are. I really want to learn from people that are smarter than me, people that are wiser than me. You know, one of the reasons why I appreciate older people, I appreciate older people because most likely they have more wisdom than I do. But I will tell you, I've been disappointed that I have met so many old people that are just losing it. It's like you lived 70 years and you didn't learn any wisdom. You lived 70 years and you don't know what the hell your name is. It's crazy. Guys, there's a lot of mental illnesses out there, and for that, maybe I apologize if that offends you, but it's the truth. It is the truth. If you tell me that I'm lying about something, but I'm showing you, like, you know how many times I have come onto this channel, left-footed seal. You know how many times I've come into this channel and I've said this, and then people call me a liar, and then I play the actual video with proof, and they say, liar. Like, I don't understand. What's going on? Here, I told you that they were doing massive fraud before, and they used racism as one of the ways to get the money from us. $800,000 right here. That might not be nothing to you, but $800,000 in fraud here in Washington State. To who? Is what they do. The creators of these groups that are racist, they just use the race card to take money from the taxpayers. And that's exactly what happened here. $800,000 $100,000 of taxpayers' money went to this person's family only. That is crazy.
She had millions of dollars in grants, but 800,000, Seattle Times reporting that it was funneled to family members, right?
Yes.
So what is DCHS saying about that specific case? Like, for example, are they going to get the money back? Are they looking into that case even further?
Well, I did reach out, and so far I haven't heard back. You know, I wanted to know where this investigation was going, what the latest update is she going to be facing criminal charges? But we're just going to have to wait and see.
Right. There's so much to unpack here, right? Because you also did the story last week regarding the King County Regional Homelessness Authority and how there was wanton mismanagement in that case as well. We're talking about the homeless crisis and not being helped by that agency. So what do you think needs to happen moving forward? What are officials telling you about the steps they're going to take moving forward?
Well, this Inspector General is supposed to have the authority to subpoena folks and try to regain this money back. At least in this case, my question to Councilmember Dembowski was specifically, is Yolanda McGee going to be facing criminal charges? And he tells me that this all lies at the hands of the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office, or at least specifically Lisa Mannion, who will have the ultimate decision here. But I want to go back because this department, DCHS, I mean, the stakes are very high. I kind of have some numbers here, Hannah, and you may know this a little bit, but the funding increased from $900 million in 2019 to over $1.8 billion in 2024. And Dembowski, during our one-on-one, he specifically told me that the county does not have, or that the county lacks the capacity to manage the thousands of contracts under this very same department. So moving forward, his proponent or his proposal is essentially to figure out exactly who these organizations, these programs are. This is just going to hurt, bottom line, any youth programs. I mean, this was an anti-racism program for our youth. When voters go to the ballot box and say, do I approve this levy? Yes, I want better things for our teens. I don't think this is definitely going to be having some serious ramifications for our youth.
Yeah, ramifications.
And the Democrats, for some reason, they don't care about our youth. That's just what I've noticed. We all know that the FBI is doing raids in Minnesota. Why don't we go ahead and take a listen to our next clip? Now, if you're going to be calling in, I will go ahead and open up the phone line so that you can call in a little bit. But I really want to get this show going because I have limited time today, and I want to make sure that I get through all this. Clips that I have set up. Yes, I would probably come on later tonight. Second part of my show is not guaranteed, but I do what I can with what I got, okay? So this is former Fauci advisor has been indicted. Now, I want to see more and more people in jail. Now, I know, Rod, that you don't think that people are going to go to jail. I understand that. I agree with you to a point, but I can still hope that justice will prevail. I know that there's a lot of things that President Barack Obama can be excused or pardoned or ignored for, but treason is not one of them. And if he was making up some lies about the Russia collusion, I want to see his ass in jail. I know, just another black man in jail. But hey, if that's a criminal, that's a traitor. He needs to be in there. With that being said, let's go ahead and get to our next clip here.
All right, I hope everyone is sitting down for this one. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz addressing fraud during his State of the State address. But as DOJ raids hit the Twin Cities, he's calling out lawmakers for not stepping up to deal with it.
My ask for you tonight is simple. If you're taking fraud seriously, take your responsibility seriously and pass legislation to stop it. If you talk about oversight, vote for that oversight in the bills that are working their way through the chamber.
Walz also trying to take credit for the DOJ's federal raids targeting daycares and suspected fraud, writing, quote, if you commit fraud in Minnesota, you're going to get caught. And that's exactly what we saw today. We catch criminals when state and federal agencies share information. Joint investigative work and securing justice depends on it. Founding partner of South and Hill Strategies, Colin Reed, joins me now. Colin, good morning to you. So for those who weren't following the ins and outs of the story yesterday, the FBI raided over 20 mostly linked Somali-linked businesses in their ongoing fraud investigation. And as this news broke, Tim Walz goes on X.
I will add, maybe a little too late. They have plenty of time to get rid of evidence or trying to fake some information. If that's the case, I'm sure they're going to make a mistake. But, a lot of time has passed. They can fix that. Well, if they're smart enough.
And says if you commit fraud in Minnesota, you're going to get caught. Is that him taking a victory lap over these raids when fraud went unchecked in his state for years?
Well, Carly, if there's a politician in America with less credibility than Tim Walz, I don't know where you find them, because this is someone who a few months ago was telling us there was nothing to see here, there was nothing going on. And then after he's been run out of office, after his re-election dreams are out the window, he's now trying to take credit for cracking down on the fraud that a couple months ago didn't exist. It doesn't pass the smell test. Voters don't buy it.
Yeah, and FBI Director Kash Patel posted on X, come again? This FBI and DOJ with our DHS partners drafted and executed every search warrant today. We go ahead and take credit for our work while we smoke out the fraud plaguing Minnesota under your governorship. So just wanted to read that to put a bow on that. But something else that I was thinking about, Colin, is that we're about 6 months until the midterm elections. So that means that there's going to be about 1,000 news cycles between then and now. Does this fraud that we're talking about right now factor into the midterms in November?
What's especially galling, Carly, is we're still in April. Forget about November. We're still in April. Most of us, all of us, hopefully, just paid our taxes, and we saw how much money we handed over to the government. We worked really hard for that money. And when it's just being thrown away, when it's just being misappropriated by politicians with no accountability, that's really irritating. And that's the thing that motivates people to get off their butts and get out and vote.
Yeah. Okay. So speaking of the midterm election, something else I wanted to ask you about took place in Virginia yesterday. There were oral arguments in front of the Virginia Supreme Court over redistricting. And a lot of the questions the judges asked seem to cut in favor of Republicans who say that this question should have never been on the ballot to begin with. So could the Virginia redistricting actually wind up not taking place in the state of Virginia?
I was talking to folks in Virginia last night who were in the know, and the TLDR is this. It was an encouraging early sign. There's still a long way to go. But what is clear is this unconstitutional power grab is not yet settled. And what I think is really important, Carly, is the same judge who hit the brake, or the same judicial court who hit the brakes on this idea to move forward with it, is the same one who allowed it to go on the ballot in the first place. So there's a long way to go, but Virginia should not have 10-1 representation in Congress. It should be more evenly split, for sure.
It could have 10-1 when it's certainly not a 10-1 state. Colin Reed, thank you so much for joining us. It's great to talk to you. Appreciate it.
Unbelievable, man. They try to cheat. You know, they talk about Texas like as if Texas was cheating. You know, they passed the vote. They did all the things the way that they're supposed to do it. And then these people in this crazy hack in Virginia try to just force it under the people's noses, and well, it didn't fly. So I'm grateful for at least some of the small victories in here that we're having inside our country. And America is always going to be great when we have leaders that are fighting. They will never be perfect, but when we have leaders that are fighting to secure the border, to make sure that all the scams and fraudsters are dealt with, to make sure that criminals actually get put behind bars when corrupted politicians come up, whether they're rhinos or they're fake Democrats or whatever the hell these people are, they need to be held accountable and they need to be put in jail. Period. No questions asked. I know James Comey is one of those cowards that we have been talking about for the last 8 years that should be in jail. It hasn't happened yet. That's why Rhoda's over here being very negative about anybody going to jail. I can't disagree with him. But I can only hope that actually something like that happens. Let's see. Maria Cáceres, President Trump is doing very well, she says. Well, Joe, God bless him. Thank you for that. We love our POTUS. I don't understand why people think they can come in here and then just start insulting our POTUS. How about we start talking about policies? What's going on? What's working? What's not working? And if you're going to talk to me about how we have an unaffordability crisis, well, let's talk about it. But don't get mad at me when I give you my information. It's not President Donald Trump's fault. Let me just go ahead and break that to you. I'm sorry to bust your bubble, but it's not Trump's doing. I guarantee it 100% it's not Trump's doing. I pay attention to my local government. I bet you don't even know who the governor is in your state. But if you do, that means that you and I are probably on the same page. So for however many people come through my channel, I thank you for coming by, stopping by and saying, hello and dropping a line. Anybody dropping in an insult to us and, to the chat or the president, you guys can go bye-bye anytime. I don't care. All right, and that is my next clip. We're just going to go to, this is Mondani's tax policy. Because, what better way to help your state than to adding more taxes and chasing people away from your state. This is what socialist Democrats, which as everybody knows now, they're Marxist communists, this is what they're great at.
Taxation without representation. We, the people, fought a war against that and won, thank you very much, to get out from under the crown's tyranny.
And as the king and queen in moments attend a state dinner in Washington to mark America's 250th anniversary of freedom, we're reminded that we're still fighting a very similar tax war 2.5 centuries later. But this time, it's not the Brits, it's the Democrats.
The very principle on which your Congress was founded, no taxation without representation, was at once a fundamental disagreement between us. The founding fathers were bold and imaginative rebels with a cause.
Here's today's tea, our modern-day all-American anti-tax party, the Republican Party, banding together to sink these blue state overreaches. But a bigger conflict brewing.
Poor Hawaii. Their cost of living. Listen, let me tell you something. If you ever hear of Hawaiians, it's a sad thing what's happened to Hawaii. It is a very sad thing that's happened to Hawaii. Number one, Hawaiians, they're descendants of Samoans. Okay, if you guys didn't know that. Hawaiians are descendants of Samoans. They have mixed a lot of Japanese culture with Hawaii. We know this. Some of the information is out there. Everybody knows. But what has happened to Hawaii is when they decided to give up their system, the chief system that they had in there, they lost their land. It is sad what's happening over there. The people in Hawaii cannot afford to live in Hawaii. Why? Because it has been monetized and advertised as a tourist attraction, and the local people, the natives in there, Native Hawaiians, their tradition is gone. There's like a small area for them to be kind of like a small reservation like they do here with the native tribes, right? But there is a lot of reservations here in Washington State. It's not just one little tiny piece of land. And they get sometimes the best land location, depending on the state. But what has happened in Hawaii is, how do they allow for local people to be extortioned? For local people to, and I'm talking about natives that actually are born there in Hawaii. How are they stripped away from their homes? We see this happening here in Washington State. And I mean, this is not news. This is something that's been happening. Wherever there is Democratic government, they're just some power-hungry, just greedy-ass people. They don't really care about their people. They don't really care about the locals. Hawaii has been suffering for decades. Decades. And Hawaiians don't have the freedom that they had before. Now you get all these homeless people in Hawaii. They send people from Washington, from other states to Hawaii. Why? The weather is favorable. Nobody's going to die of freezing in the middle of the night. But they have destroyed Hawaii, so to speak. Tulsi Gabbard talked about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, we need people to actually care about what's happening in our states. Californians, You know, the response that I get from Californians is because they have money. They say paradise is not cheap, is what they say. Paradise is not cheap. If you want to live in California, you better have money. Wait a minute. The last time I checked, this is the United States of America, and anybody can go anywhere. Why are you allowing millions of illegal immigrants in your state? You know why? Because they come from third world countries. They're used to living in a shithole community. They're used to having 10 people in one house. They know. They want the dollars. And they know that if they bunch up in one smaller house or apartment, and even though they're making little money, when you split the bill to pay the bills, they can afford it. And all they care is about making a few dollars, because even making a few dollars here in the States is more than what they make in their country. The crazy thing about that is, like, why the hell are they waving the flag of their country? There is so many things surrounded with every single issue. But the fact is that Hawaiians are paying the price. And I think that these blue states, they got to go. They got to go. We got to change. We got to change the tables. I don't care how many libtards come into my channel to tell me that, that we're criminals, that we're Nazis, that we're bigots, that we're fascists. I don't care what they say. Because what I see on the streets, not just the news, on the streets with these damn protesters, is that they don't like us. And we're American citizens, doggone it. And they're fighting us and putting us down. And they're doing lawlessness. They're godless and lawless. The biggest problems that you can have in a nation is godless and lawless. Those kind of people, my friends, that's trouble right there. That is a formula for trouble. Let me tell you that right now. I hope the Hawaiians wake up and stop voting for Democrats that keep destroying their damn beautiful island that they have, or islands that they have.
And tax the rich is the left's battle cry.
Here's who our revolutionaries are fighting. California. Its billionaire tax just garnered enough support to make the ballot in November. And the exodus is on. A new study estimates that more than $777 billion in wealth has already fled that state.
Washington state has adopted a 9.9% tax on millionaires. Maine and Illinois have proposed similar levies. And of course, New York on the front lines. Hedge fund billionaire Ken Griffin is about ready to throw Mondani into the Hudson, clapping back at the mayor for singling him out and his city penthouse in his pied-à-terre tax crusade.
He went on camera today with some choice words for Zoran before he meets with the Governor Hochul as he reconsiders his company's investments in the city.
The willingness of the mayor of New York to make this a policy debate, a personal attack, just demonstrated a profound lack of judgment, just a profound lack of judgment. Here's the real question. Is New York going to put their fiscal house in order and run itself from a position of a strong government that's pro-business? Or are they looking to play, why do the Americans think we can do socialism? We have none of that in our DNA, and we're just going to screw it up.
Oh, Zozo's screwing it up all right. Here's how his warmth of collectivism approach is going. Today, talking about yet another tax the rich scheme. Mondani wants to roll back a popular business tax credit on pass-through entities from 100% to 75% to raise, he says, $1 billion in revenue. So smart, hurt the job creators. Common sense? How about commie sense?
The mayor calls it a high earner loophole. The governor is saying, no way. We say, add this junk to the harbor.
We cannot close this deficit with savings alone. We need new revenue. And we need a structural reset in our relationship with the state. That is the only way to meet our legal obligation.
Free buses. Yes. Free grocery stores. Yes. Right. We told you so. We told you so.
To pass a balanced budget.
Let's bring in our modern day Paul Revere on taxation, which is tyranny. Unleash Prosperity co-founder and America First Policy Institute senior fellow, Steve Moore. Steve, what do you make of this left-wing crusade that is just beginning, particularly on the wealth taxes, which is pure a confiscation? And it's something that, other than, say, property taxes at the local level, we've never done.
Well, let's start with New York City, because you really were focusing on what Zoran is saying and doing in New York City, where you are. New York City spends about twice as much per person as the average city. Did you know that? Twice as much per person on government services as the average city, and yet the services aren't too good in New York City. So when he says we can't cut spending and we have to raise taxes, their taxes are already also the highest in the country by a large margin. So this is like putting lighter fluid on a fire. And it is so divorced from any kind of sense of reality that it's almost scary that he would take that great city down. Look, this is the big story in America that you guys are covering tonight. What's happening in red states, which are cutting taxes. By the way, Missouri is now looking at eliminating their income tax, guys. I don't know if you're aware of that. They'd become the 9th state. They'd replace Washington State as a state with an income tax. Meanwhile, what are the blue states doing? Not repairing themselves, not realizing, hey, we've moved in the wrong direction. But you guys are right. 6 or 7 of them are talking about major tax increases. That's only going to make the blue state, red state divide even deeper, and it's also going to mean that the red states are going to continue to deplete the tax base of those high-tax blue states.
Okay, let me ask you something. This might be totally counterintuitive to you, Steve, and it might stretch you as an economist, but one of the questions with Ken Griffin in New York is he has every incentive to flee, right? Leave, pull your investments, pull your money, go to one of these states cutting taxes. But kind of one of the magic aspects of America is you've got 50 states that can trade with each other and do commerce. At some point, would you, as the economist who loves the red state, blue state comparison, say, you know what? A guy like Ken Griffin should stay in New York City and fight and win the fight so that we don't lose one of our great cities and one of our great states for commerce. What do you think about that? Where would you come down?
Well, I agree with you that to see what's happened in New York City, to see what's happening in Los Angeles, as you guys know, I'm from the great state of Illinois and the great city of Chicago, and it's heartbreaking. You have these crazy politicians who continue to want to dig the hole deeper. And Brian, I mean, you make a good point. Maybe he should stay and fight. But my goodness, he left Illinois, he left Chicago, and he left a deep hole in Chicago. They chased him out. They said, we don't want the wealthy people. Get out if you don't want to be here. He was funding all the charities. He was funding the museums. He was funding the homeless shelters. He was one of the most patriotic Americans in terms of helping poor people, but he did it with his own money. He didn't want to send it to the city of Chicago. So I don't know. Look, these blue cities are going to have to change or die. It really is that simple. And how they don't get the message when we estimate $2 trillion over the last 11 years have left blue states and gone to red states. $2 trillion. What do they have to do? What do we have to do to get them to understand that these policies are not working?
Well, we didn't even touch the federal government, Steve, where we're spending, $2 trillion more every year that we have to borrow. That's what our deficit is. And the bottom half of federal taxpayers pay virtually no net income tax. It's an abomination. And we talk about taxation without representation. Well, what kind of stakeholder are you if you aren't paying one nickel to our military?
Good question.
I'll let you take it.
Okay, Steve, let me move on to this one, okay? So the FCC filing an early license review of 8 Disney-owned ABC stations in the wake of the Jimmy Kimmel controversy, saying, quote, the FCC determines that calling in Disney's ABC licenses for early renewal at this time under the Communication Act's public interest standard is essential within the meaning of agency regulations. What do you think about this? You kind of know where this is stemming from. You kind of know what the headline issue is here. Do you like this move?
Well, first of all, I'm not a lawyer. I'm an economist, but I will say this. There is a decency standard, right? There's a decency standard at these networks. And Jimmy Kimmel violated that standard by just making jokes about Trump being shot, and it was outrageous. But I also believe in free speech, Brian, and I don't like to see somebody fired for something that they say, even if it is offensive. That's what the left tries to do. So I guess I probably come down on the side of Jimmy Kimmel, even though I don't like the guy. I think what he said was outrageous, but I also think it's important that the government not regulate people's speech. I don't know. What do you guys think on that?
I think that Melania speaking out against Jimmy Kimmel was more powerful than anything the federal government can do. And Steve, we are glad that you and everyone at that dinner were safe and sound.
Absolutely.
Steve Moore, thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys.
So go ahead and tell me about this $10 billion suit. Tell me about it. What do you think about it? Give me the whole truth about it. Don't just give me little headlines that you've been reading. How about Letitia James suing President Trump every day with taxpayers' money? How about Letitia James defending herself with taxpayers' money? How about every blue Democrat, socialist Democrat governor suing Trump with taxpayers' money? Go ahead and add how much money they have spent trying to put President Trump, an innocent man, behind bars. Add up how much money they have wasted of taxpayer dollars and then come back and talk to me. All right? So you don't come over here just splitting your little leftist ideologies and little lies to make people think that the truth is just being suppressed by Republicans, because Republicans today are the actual party who is caring about the United States of America, and I appreciate that. All right, let's go ahead and I want to hear from these people. Let's see, because an agency released his tax details showing how little he pays. What about it? That is the loop. If the socialist Democrats think that's a big deal, President Trump said it in his first term campaign. Change it. Change the code. Change the system. You know what? 4 years after President Donald Trump, you know who changed that policy? Nobody. 4 years. The Biden administration didn't move one finger to change that loophole. You know why? Because they all use it. They all use it. Very interesting. I love Israel. Israel is our friend. And yes, we're going to stand up for Israel 100%. Don't hate. Don't hate because you're not Israel. We don't care about your little communist country. We don't care about you communist. So why don't the middle class get this loophole? Well, Brooke, do you know how to do taxes? Let me explain to you how to do taxes. If you don't know, here's the lesson. This is the basics taxes 101 for business owners. I'm assuming you're talking about business because he is a business owner. Taxes 101. Before you declare your income and your taxes, right? Before you declare your income as actual income, you have to deduct every cost of doing business. Let me put it like this. If you have $10 and you said you made $100,000, okay? So you made $100,000. We got to go with the big amount. $100,000. And you do your taxes and say, okay, I made $100,000. You're going to get taxed on that $100,000. But if you start deducting bills, electricity, cost of doing business, like tariffs, right? Employees, insurance, all this other stuff that you have to pay out of your income, out of your gross. You take that down, and all of a sudden, you just made $70,000. Well, you don't pay taxes on that other $30,000. That's the loophole. But it's not really a loophole, is it? It's just tax 101. I only know this because I know how to do my own taxes. I got sick of paying hundreds and hundreds of dollars for somebody else to do my taxes when I'm better than they are. couple of years, I tried. I was like, you know what? Let me do my own taxes, man. I'm going to go ahead and put this information in here. Okay, I'm going to deduct that, do this and that. I got my receipts. If I get audited, boom, I got receipts. Boom, 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 done. Now let me go and see somebody else do it at H&R Block or Liberty or whatever other company does it. Same thing. Same thing. You can do your own taxes. You can save money. Do your own taxes. I got an extra $4,000 return this year on my taxes because of the big, beautiful bill. I was able to deduct up to $10,000 on the interest loan for my American-made car. Fantastic. Isn't that fantastic? If you bought an international or a foreign vehicle, you don't get shit. If you are you work in an industry where tips is the majority of your pay, up to a certain amount of dollars, you can deduct that from your taxes. Some people got thousands of dollars back because of that. Something that would have never happened if the big, beautiful bill didn't come through. Citizens, senior citizens were lied to by Democrats, saying that they were going to lose, right? I charge, Brooke. It's not free if I do it. Much love to you. Listen, they were lying to our senior senior residents, to our senior retired citizens, and they were being told, at least here in Washington State, they were being told that Trump was going to get rid of their Social Security and that they were no longer going to get that money. When I talked to some of them, I explained to them that's not what Trump is doing. What the big, beautiful bill is doing is they're actually going to rebate. They're going to refund you. You're going to be able to get those taxes back because there's going to be no taxes on Social Security. Now, this doesn't include for disability or anything like that. This is talking about retired senior citizens. And they're like, what? That's not what they told us. They said Trump is trying to get rid of it. And I was like, no, ma'am. I said, no, that's not true. And I said, so I didn't even know that senior citizens' Social Security, when they retire, was being taxed. I didn't know that. But thanks to the big, beautiful bill, I went and looked, and I was like, wait a minute. Say, what? No, they shouldn't be getting taxed for this. And you know what? There it is. So we have all these good things that are happening over here. You know, we tried immigration reform. You know why we couldn't get immigration reform passed? Because when we put this bill down for immigration reform, every single Democrat and some rhinos voted against it. And now we have a big, huge illegal immigrant problem in our country. Besides, don't want to go too far into it, but the reason why Democrats want illegal immigrants is because the census allows them to get more seats according to the population that they have in their state. And they don't care. They don't care that American citizens, Californians, Washingtonians, or whatever are being hurt. They don't care. As long as they get the seats to stay in power, that's all that matters to them. But see, I have a problem with that. You know, I was going to run for office. Well, I might still. But, you know, I called the Republicans and the Democrat parties. And I talked with them. And politicians are just, bro, garbage. I'm sorry, bro, but I'm sick of politicians, man. Why can't you be a concerned citizen and stop lying? Go in there and tell us, what are you going to do? What are we going to do to fix the problem? And they all come in there lying at their ass. It just pisses me off. It happens on both sides. Every politician seems like they're lying at their ass. I'm sick of politicians. I say, fuck them. All. Get in there, man, and do the job. Do the job the way it's supposed to be. You know what they told me? When I gave them my input, and I was testing these guys. I want to see what they say. I say, hey, listen, I am sick and tired of all these taxes being implemented on us. over and over and over again. We have an affordability crisis. Why? We have a massive illegal immigration problem. We have a massive property tax problem. We have a massive corporate and business taxes, excise tax, cost of doing business, BO taxes. Cost of doing business is something that they don't tell the business owners that they can put in there, like tariffs, etc. You know, they have all these taxes. Even when you die, you get taxed. You get married, they screw you over. And all of a sudden, when you do taxes, you have to pay more money because you're married. It's like if you're single, if you're not married, even if you live together, your incomes are separate, so you get refunds, you get tax cuts, you get tax breaks. But if you marry, you get punished. It is a problem. And I said, we got to look at this and we got to look at that. I want to fight for the veterans and I want to tackle this homeless issue. And throwing money at the homeless problem by creating more housing for them is not going to fix it. We need to fix the mental problem. We need to get people that actually are trying to help the mental problem, the drug addictions. You don't give them more drugs to continue their bad habits. No. There's other ways to go about it. But telling people to do drugs with the people that they love so that they can feel the support, that is the stupidest thing I ever heard. And that is exactly what Democrats are saying on TV. On public television. I kid you not. I kid you not. On public television. And so, you know, when I say all these things, you know, blah, 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 you know, and I talk about how I want to work and I want to do this for the farmers and this and that, you know, they both told me the same thing. They said, nobody knows who you are. And I said, yeah, but what about it? Yeah, I guess nobody does, right? They both told me, money talks, bullshit walks. So you don't care about the heart of the person that's coming in to try to run for office? No. There is a lot more people with money that are already putting money into their campaign. And I said, well, so they don't want, the qualification is not how much are you going to do for the people, it's how much money do you got so that you can run a campaign. Corrupted sons of bitches. If you're a campaign manager and if you are a committee for the Republicans or the Democrats, you guys are garbage. Both of you are garbage. How about you start looking for people that actually care for the people? How about you start looking at candidates that actually know what the hell they're talking about? You know, they had a sheriff, a retired sheriff here in Washington State. I thought the guy was great. He has some good points. But he sucked at debating. I'm like, wait a minute. Why aren't you saying this and that and this and that? Like, bro, you campaign on this. He campaigned the whole time on this. And then when he went on the debate, just waste of time. Just a waste of time. Waste of money, waste of time. Put that effort and that money into somebody who actually fights for the people and that can actually fight for the people. But that's not what they want. That's not what they want. Hi, Susanna. Welcome to the chat. I think somebody asked me a question. I didn't mean to ignore you here, but where are you? Let's see. Yeah, Brooke. Okay, it was Brooke. It's beyond party affiliation now. We must save ourselves. You know, and it's like, if I was a millionaire, I'm going to tell you, I wouldn't be a Republican or Democrat. I wouldn't want to even look at any of these parties. They both suck. Politicians are almost as bad as lawyers. If you're a lawyer, I apologize, but you know what I'm talking about. If you're a defensive lawyer and you know that you have a criminal, you'll defend them no matter what. That is your job. They can confess their murder to you, and your client privilege stops you from saying the truth. I don't trust you. I don't trust you. Anywho, let's continue with our clips. Don't worry, libtards. If there's any libtards in here, or if you're a fan of CNN, we're going to listen to CNN as well.
Now this, Mayor Zohran Mamdani of New York City is pushing another new tax to close the multi-billion-dollar budget gap in New York City that he admits is out of control. But critics warn it could push even more businesses out of New York. Jerry Willis is with me. What exactly does the mayor want to do, Jerry?
He wants to cut a tax credit used by businesses, especially small and medium-sized businesses. NYC Mayor Zohran Mamdani's latest plan to soak the rich, reduce a tax credit favored by thousands of business owners, and use the proceeds to pay down the city's mammoth debt while not giving up his socialist agenda gimmies like city-owned grocery stores. The credit is called the PTET, or Pass-Through Entity Tax Credit, and according to the NYC Office of the Comptroller, it generated some $1.7 billion from filers with income of $1 million and higher in 2025. Now, the credit helps offset federal limits on state and local taxes by rebating a city-level tax. I know it's complicated. Mamdani says it's a tax cut for the rich, but business owners, well, they disagree.
Many states implemented a pass-through entity tax because many businesses file via the S-Corp or LLCs, and this became a workaround to keep them competitive. So it's being portrayed by the far left as a millionaire benefit, but in reality, it really was created to help many small and mid-sized businesses. So in a time where the economy is fragile in New York City, we're saying just be cautious on these sort of things.
Also saying no to Mamdani's tax hike is Governor Kathy Hochul, whose support Mamdani would need to get the idea through the New York Assembly. When it comes to taxing the rich, Hochul has her own plan. She favors a pied-à-terre tax, which would apply to properties with $5 million or more that are not primary residences. Now, Mamdani currently facing a May 12th deadline to release an executive budget to plug his $5.4 billion two-year budget deficit. He wants to generate $1 billion by reducing that tax credit I described from 100% to 75%. And that's not the only plan for soaking the wealthy. Mamdani has also proposed a 2% income tax increase on New Yorkers making over $1 million a year, hiking property, corporate taxes. And while Mamdani scrambles for money, a new study from the Fiscal Policy Institute finds actual city spending exceeds projections by 10% every year as city fathers under budget and overspend. David?
That is unsustainable. And
right.
even he admits it's unsustainable. Thank you very much for that, Jerry Willis. John Katzimatidis is here with us now. John, you've bent over backwards to try to deal with this guy, to talk to him, talk some sense into them, but do you really think he's got an open mind? I mean, I continue to believe that what he said, his sort of Marxist rhetoric leading up to the election, is what he really believes.
Well, naturally, he's going to play the violin. You know, it's an old expression to his followers. But he is a smart guy. He went to Bronx Science High School. Has got a minimum 150 IQ, and I respect the smart guys. And smart guys, you know, I said to him, you're on the edge of disaster or you're on the edge of success. If you, I guess, annoy S&P or Moody's, guess what? We're going to lose. But New York City loses. New York State loses. We lose. And I don't want to lose New York City.
And by the way, it's not just the rich people, the super rich. As Jerry Willis was saying, it's the
middle class.
Don't benefit from this tax credit. It's the mom and pop businesses that
and the middle class, the people that make $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 a year, they are the ones. The people that make a lot of money, well, they have an option. They get up and leave, or they get up and spend 181 days someplace else. But you can't destroy the real estate industry, because in London, it's been destroyed already. It's been destroyed in London by the socialists. And if you do the same thing in New York City, that is a disaster.
Well, and talk about his $30 million plan to build one grocery store. It's going to take 3 years. It's already over budget. I mean, that affects.
It's going to take 3 years, conveniently, when his term is already over. Right. False promises. Not that it was a good promise anyway.
advising him.
That affects the small businesses, the small bodegas that surround this place, right?
I'm advising him to have more common sense. And look, communications. People say to me, why are you talking to him? Communications is more important than hate. I don't want to hate. I want communications. He's a smart kid. He's a smart person. He's a kid. He's 34 years old. Yeah. And he's still learning. And communications, and hopefully he'll understand that it's better to have New York City win. If New York City wins, he wins.
I want to slip one more in. Citadel CEO and billionaire Ken Griffin is going to be meeting with New York Governor Kathy Hochul later this week. They're going to discuss the city's future direction under Mamdani. How do you think that's going to go?
Well, the governor, it's up to the governor oversees the mayor. So you have checks and balances. You have the governor overseeing the mayor. You have Julie Menem, the city council president, overseeing the mayor. And you have the Washington, President Trump, through Jay Clayton, the U.S. attorney that coordinates the other federal people in the city, and they oversee the mayor. So it's up to the mayor, who is a smart guy, like I said, to determine, is he going to fall off the edge of disaster, or is he going to fall off the edge of success?
It's up.
And yeah, he's smart, but unfortunately he's playing for the wrong team. Now, this little next segment is probably going to be is going to be demonetizing my life today, but that's okay. I need to play this for you guys. Now, this is, I hope it's in English, but this is this is Televisa Univision, Noticias Univision, and this was Kamala Harris. Let me see.
Mamá de familia. I am here.
Hold on. I don't want. You know what? I don't want this version actually. Let's see. Oh my gosh, how do I get rid of this garbage? All right, listen. So let me just go ahead and show you the frame, if you guys want to look it up. Okay. She's asked about high prices and inflation. And even though we're not going to play the clip, I hate to hear the Spanish and English talk. I don't think it sounds good for you guys. But let me just say this. If you want to go look at this video, you can go look at this video, okay? But I hear every single leftist person that comes into my channel. They want to complain and bitch and moan about tax prices. They want to say groceries prices are so much higher with President Trump. Well, here is Kamala Harris trying to address some of the issues because, I know, Univision is a Spanish channel, right? And they want to talk about illegal immigrants. But the point that I'm going to make about this clip here is that she is going to talk about how high prices are, or she's talking about how high prices are under Biden's administration, under her administration. And if she was going to run for president, what would you do different? She said the same things that President Biden is doing. It's a great job. But taxes have been, gas prices have been so high. She blamed the farmers. She blamed the companies, the beef, what do they call the meat processing companies. I don't know if that's the name for it. Anybody can correct me on there. But it's like, it's part of inflation. Inflation happens. Prices are higher because we have a good economy. And I'm just like, okay, I don't understand this, but all I know is that I couldn't even buy damn eggs at the store. You remember that? I couldn't even find eggs to buy. The Democrats just pooped all over the farmers and got rid of all this, this production. They come in here and complain about prices. Prices are higher under Trump, they say, but it's a lie. They've been higher prices during the Biden administration. How can they tell us, like if we just moved to the United States of America all of a sudden and we don't know what has been happening in our country? We know exactly what's been happening in our country. I can tell you right now, our gas prices here in Washington State should be about $2 a gallon. Part of it is this war that we're fighting over there in Iran. Well, not really a war, but you know what I'm saying. But the Iranian war. And the most cost of the high prices for our gas is the taxes and the regulation from our socialist Democrats. It's crazy. Good economy means less prices, fool. What the hell? Mike, rewrite that. Good economy means less prices. What are you talking about? It doesn't make sense. I don't know what the hell he's trying to say there. Okay? But a good economy doesn't mean lower prices. Is that what you're saying? Lower prices? Let's see. Since Trump took office, food prices are up. When they were down, you guys denied it. Unemployment is up. Inflation is up. Gas price. Okay. Sure. All right, Floyd. Well, I want you to pay attention. You people have been lied to, and you continue to believe these lies. I like everything that you put on there. I've actually talked about. Prices were higher under Biden's administration. Even by today's prices, it was higher. Unemployment. Let me touch on unemployment. Why do you think? Give me a reason. Give me a reason. Why do you think we have such a high rate of unemployment? Give me one reason. Let's take a listen. Yeah, Tara, I see you. Yeah, that's true. They're a lot lower, a lot down. Prices are down since a lot now since Biden. That's true. No. I want these people. I want Floyd, specifically Floyd, to tell me that. Why do you think unemployment rate is so high? Now, I'm going to give you a few things. I'm only asking you for one. Why do you think? Why do you think unemployment rate is so high? I'll wait for you. Vlad, go back to your country. Why do you think the unemployment rate is so high? This is very easy answer. Come on, Floyd, don't be shy, bro. Come on, I didn't block you. Nobody's blocked you. Your comment's still there, so I know you can comment. Population, education, corruption. Yeah, I'm looking more direct. I'm not lying about anything. Come on, Floyd. Come on, man. Tariffs? No. Trump inherited a 4% unemployment rate. Now is 4.4. No. That's not a reason. That's just a statement. I want you to give me a reason. Don't give me a statement. I know what the statement is. I need you to give me a reason. I want to know if you do your research, if you're thinking outside the box, if you have any critical thinking skills. I want you to tell me, first of all, you got to grab this big bubble of hate against President Trump and then just put it in your back pocket for now. Keep it there for now and think without hate of Trump. And I want you to give me one reason. Paul, doggone it, Paul, I said Floyd. All right, so one reason is welfare. And there's people with common sense in here. But I want Floyd to answer the question. Not give me a statement. Tell me why. What are the reasons? Welfare, bing, check. I gave you one. Trump. You're stupid, bro. Anthony, shut the hell up, bro. Oh, man. Come on. Here, I'll give you number 2. You ready? Number 2, crime. Bing! Tariffs, not the answer. Absolutely negativo. What's the third reason? Come on, you can do it. Oh, I can see Floyd's brain is just smoking, trying to move the gear, that one click. Click. Get some WD-40 on that brain, sir. Come on, Floyd, you can do it. Or you can't breathe. No, Anthony, no. Because of entitlement programs, no. I think welfare is one of the programs, but there you go. War, no. Come on, guys. There's only one reason left out of 3. That's probably more, but so we got welfare, we got crime. Immigration. Okay, 3. Okay. One more. Let's do one more. There you go. Attaboy. High taxes. Does Trump put taxes on the people? No. I bet Floyd is putting on his makeup. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. Yeah, fraud will be one of them, but I think we hit the 4 major ones, right? What is it? Major, number 1, taxes on businesses. Let me tell you what happens with taxes on businesses, okay? Taxes on businesses, it's a big problem. If you're a business owner, you know exactly how the taxes work for the business owner. One of the problems with the business owner is, especially when you're in a middle-sized, company, right? You're growing. You got 300 employees. You're growing. They have added a payroll tax. They added an excise tax. They did. What's the other one, Brian? If you can help me out. Something that you haven't gained money on yet. Gains tax? Okay, there you go. I just answered my own question. They have a gains tax. They have an insurance tax. Like these companies, they have to provide health insurance. Okay, not all of them, but most of them, they have to provide health insurance. So if the employee pays $300 or $500 for the family coverage, the company pays even more for every employee so that they can get that health coverage. Companies will never encourage you to get health care. They will never encourage you. They will pretend to encourage you, but they don't because they have to pay more, okay? But then you have that, and then you have all these other taxes like property taxes. You have, there's oh my God, I can't think of the damn names of the taxes. But you have a lot of taxes that are being placed on just doing business, okay? And they are raising taxes like this billionaire tax, okay? They are raising an extra 10%. For some in New York, I think it's like 2 or 4% right now, right? But here in Washington State, they added an extra 9.9% tax. That's 10%. 10%. That is the biggest problem of why corporations are leaving. And when a big corporation leaves, I just mentioned a small, middle-sized corporation, 300 employment, gone, done. They don't have to worry about any of the taxes. They don't have to worry about anything. Payroll. They don't have to worry about 401ks, matching, etc. They don't have to worry about anything. No overhead. Done. Hundreds of thousands of jobs done. They do a billionaire's tax. Well, now you got a big corporation leaving. You got Microsoft thinking about leaving Washington. You already have Jeff Bezos leaving Washington. CEO from Starbucks already leaving Washington. You got hundreds of small businesses just going bankrupt. They're all failing. Nothing to do with tariffs or Trump. I'm telling you that right now. Nothing to do with it. And then, of course, Boeing is a huge one. I really don't think Boeing is going to go anywhere anytime soon. But nonetheless, they don't care about adding these taxes. As a matter of fact, these jackasses, they even tell the press, if we get another $1 billion from Microsoft, they won't miss it. They have a profit of $16 billion a year. Well, what happens when things go wrong? It's crazy, right? And then I will put that illegal immigrants probably will be the last reason, but I will put in second, welfare. What is the incentive for people to get a job if they got free housing? If they can buy anything with their food stamps? If they get free health care? Think about this. Just free health care for family. It's almost $600, $1,000 if you don't have insurance with the company. Just that. And then you get $120 to $200 per person, especially when you have kids. Right? And then depending on the people that are in there, you get in this welfare, you're getting more money by being unemployed than by being employed. And the way that it works is you have a sugar mama because the sugar mama doesn't have money, but she has the welfare. she has the kids. They don't get married, but the woman gets the benefits. The man having no job, there's nothing they can collect from child support. And if they both are actually in the same household and the woman has kids, you get more welfare help. And you can just go pretend that you're looking for a job and you don't have to do anything for 2 or 3 years. And then when that resets, then you just start all over again. So that's why number 2 is welfare, because there is no incentive for people to want to go to work. For what? So that the government can take your money away? That's not an incentive, but this is the mentality. This is the way that socialism works. And socialism doesn't create wealth. It destroys the wealth. Just because somebody was able to be successful, it doesn't mean that that's your money. If they're not here, where do you get the money from? Socialists don't know how to make money, right? So there you go. And then you have, what was the third reason? Anybody remind me here? Not tariffs. Again, not tariffs. Floyd's gone. Oh, man. Immigrants are last. There was one more. Not war. Come on. Somebody said it. Somebody said it. I forgot it. Yeah, companies are moving out. No population, education, corruption. No. No. Oh, man, you guys block so many. Once you block somebody, I can't see the comments anymore. All right, but we'll get to the fourth one, okay? Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Double A is actually paying attention. That's right. So you have crime in our cities, and businesses don't want to do business anymore because they keep getting broken into. I shared a video not too long ago about this business I've been in Seattle for years, many years, and they are leaving because they keep getting broken into. You know, and it's like they can't afford it. They can't afford it, especially with the new tax being added on there, which I hope that the Supreme Court throws it out. But that is a big problem. And what do? Instead of having more police, they get rid of police. They defund the police. Hey, Tanya, I see you, sis. You know, they defund the police. The governor ran on putting $100 million for police. They did the opposite. Now they have social workers. Can you believe that? They got social workers. Less police, more social workers. This is socialist ideology. Eventually, when they run out of money, those who are left in the state will get that tax taken out of their income, whether they like it or not. So either you fight now or you fight too late. And by then, you're going to have more problems. Drugs on drug addicts. Thank you, Double A. That's it. You have all this crime. You have these drug abusers. They stand by your door. They beg. They stink. These people need help. And then we get to our fourth reason. And the fourth reason is illegal immigration. Illegal immigrants will do the jobs that other people will not do unless they get paid a fair wage. There are some jobs that you need to have a livable wage in order for you to do that job. But illegal immigrants, they just go in there and do it because they don't care. They don't know any better. They just don't know any better. Other things is, and this is sad because I have an American friend that he has Hispanic workers with him. And he says, as far as he knows, they are legal. Okay, so I'm not going to blame him for anything. But as far as he knows, they're legal. And he says that his business is suffering because he sees a lot more landscapers out there. And, it could be another American hiring Mexicans, Salvadorian, whatever, hiring Hispanics for landscaping. But the fact is that the business are suffering. You know what I'm saying? So if I'm going to tell you something. If my back wasn't so crappy, I would say this. I'd rather be working construction jobs that pays me $45 an hour. I'm happy with that. I can tell you that right now. But you know what? What I charge $45 an hour, an illegal immigrant will probably charge you $20. That's how it works. I'm going to tell you something. I went to Home Depot one time to try to get some workers. Now, I don't know if they're employees. This is just help, people that you can get at Home Depot or something. And I said, hey, man, how about you help me put some pavers in and I'll pay you $20 an hour. And, you go ahead and pay taxes on that. If you pay taxes, that's up to you. But I said, but I'll give you $20 an hour. And if you can help me. They said, oh, no, it has to be minimum $25. What? Are you kidding me? And my first thought was, man, he's probably illegal anyways. Oh, man. I'm going to say this. I know we're ranting about all this stuff right now, but we need to help our farmers, man. We need to help our farmers. Washington State has always been a big farming state, and it's just the farming industry is dying. And on a serious note, on a real note, I don't like the fact that our farmers are being overlooked. Now, I don't understand, I know why, but I don't understand the reason for us buying fertilizer from some other country that who knows what they're putting on the fertilizer, trying to poison our people here in America. Why would you trust that? Shouldn't you want to do those things here locally? Well, too much regulation makes it very expensive. Have you ever wondered, like just off the top of your head, have you ever wondered why fertilizer is so explosive? Just listen, fertilizer to me was chicken poop. Dry chicken poop. This is what the fertilizer was, to make sure that the flowers will grow beautiful. This was the fertilizer that was given back then. I don't know what the hell they're feeding us, but I'm going to tell you, over-regulating is going to cost a high price. And I haven't seen anything positive in our nutritional value. I've seen everything that makes us fat, that makes us diabetic, that makes our bones corrupt, corrode. I haven't seen anything good. Nothing good. Most of the people here in America are obese. Let's be honest. Pacific Islanders, I think if we're going to go with the stats around the world, Fiji's have like 90% people fat. And I'm not talking like fat like me. I'm talking about like 3 of me put together. Most people are dying of diabetes, heart conditions, they can't breathe, etc. It's a sad thing, and in Samoa, it's the same thing with, there's a majority of people are very obese. Like, their legs are like purple and black of how obese they are. And, we have really fat people, huge fat people here in our country, and they're crying because they're going to starve now that they have no food stamps. I'm going to tell you something. There's nothing wrong with being chubby, nothing wrong with being fat. I got a problem with you complaining about food stamps if you're fat. If you're fat, don't complain about food stamps. Just don't. Get a job. Get a different diet. Eat less. More water. You know the whole thing. Listen, if I look at myself, I'm obese according to the terms. I am fat guy. I am a fat guy. But I'm not a round guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a round guy, and I try to take care of myself. Like, you will think, sorry guys. Listen, you will think that I eat and eat and eat, but I don't. I haven't had anything to eat since I picked up my wife yesterday. Okay, but that was around 6, so I guess it's not that bad. But how many times do I tell you guys? Like, sometimes I eat at 3 in the afternoon, and at 3 on the next day in the afternoon, I'm here with no food. That's crazy. I'm telling you, I don't even know why I'm fat. My wife and I, we started taking these long walks, and we do fast walks, and it's about 3 to 4 miles. And, it's, I exaggerate. It was 2 to 3 miles, just about a mile off. But you know what? But we're trying to make that change, right? We just, and we're trying to walk fast. And yes, we're burning calories and we're doing this and that. But nonetheless, it's like, bro, it's like the food that we eat. Listen, the best deals right now, and it's not that I'm advertising. Dang Boogie, no, I refuse to listen to you. Get rid of this guy. He says no tacos. What is wrong with this guy? Man, I love my tacos, bro. But listen, I don't have tacos all the time. But listen, I have this deal at Mickey D's. $5. You hear that? $5. You get a McChicken. You get 4 chicken nuggets. You get some small fries. And you get a small soda or water, whatever you want to drink. $5. Bro, you can't go wrong with that. The problem is, it's not healthy food. But it'll fill you up. You see what I'm saying? So we got to do something about nutrition. And this is one of the reasons why I support Robert Jr., Robert Kennedy. He might not be a farmer or whatever, but his leadership. He is a guy that believes in fitness. He's a guy that believes that nutritional values are important. And what better person than somebody that actually exercises, somebody that's actually fit. I mean, he's pretty old up there. He's up there in age, right? And thanks, Giga. But you know what I'm saying? But he's fit. And you know, as I go work out, I look, okay, how much protein do I need? Do I need protein? Yeah. How much do I need of this fats? What fats are good? No sugar. Okay, so, but what can we get to replace this? What vitamins do I need at my age? You know, and you think about all this nutrition, you test and you work out and you check it out and you see this and that. And I think that's a good candidate to go out there and, you know, team up with a bunch of scientists, you know, nutritionists and all these other people. And the Democrats hate that. The Democrats rather have a fat man pretending to be a woman as a to tell us about nutritional values. I don't know about you, but I will have to go with the latter, with the fit guy, with Robert Kennedy Jr. I love him so much. I feel bad that he has that thing on his throat, but you know what? He's doing a tremendous job. Maha, baby. Make America healthy again. I love it. Tanya's with me. She loves tacos. So does John Anthony. Everybody loves the freaking tacos. Stop talking about it. It's almost $3 for a freaking McDouble now, man. You can't even get 2 pieces of imitation cheese for $3. It used to be two for $5 as well. Yeah, there was some good deals, man. There was some good deals. But the point is, you know, all the cheap food is just not healthy for us, you know? And they got away with putting all these sugary, fatty foods on food stamps, on EBT. You know, socialist Democrats, they think they're slick. They use the welfare system to help the economy, they say. How many agree with me that that's what they do? They use the welfare system to help the economy because they will use your tax dollars to support grocery stores via welfare. You guys see that as well, right? Because I can't be the only one that sees that, right? Okay, I promise you guys that I will give you some CNN news. And, man, I don't know if we're going to listen to the whole thing, but let's at least get through some of it. We might have to watch the whole thing. But all right, let's take a listen to see what CNN says. And don't worry, I got a little bit of medicine from Tony so that you guys can recover from this video, okay? Here we go.
The FCC, the Federal Communications Commission, has suddenly ordered, years ahead of schedule, a review of licenses for the Disney-owned and operated ABC local stations. Now, this comes just one day after the First Lady and the President demanded ABC and its parent company, Disney, fire Jimmy Kimmel over a joke he made on his late-night talk show days before the White House correspondent dinner. The FCC is saying in a filing, and I quote, Disney's ABC is hereby directed to file license renewals for all of their licensed TV stations within 30 days, in other words, by May 28, 2026. The FCC chair, Brendan Carr, is a Trump ally. Now the FCC says the license review is related to an ongoing probe into Disney's diversity initiatives. It would only involve the 8 ABC stations owned by Disney. Critics of the action see it as government retaliation for airing Kimmel's show and resisting pressure from the president. Disney released a statement that reads, quote, ABC and its stations have a long record of operating in full compliance with FCC rules and serving their local communities with trusted news, emergency information, and public interest programming. Disney adds, we are confident the record demonstrates our continued qualifications as licensees under the Communications Act and the First Amendment and are prepared to show that through the appropriate legal channels. Now, again, the FCC action comes on the heels of Melania Trump calling for Jimmy Kimmel's firing based on this joke he told in a sketch last Thursday.
And of course, our First Lady Melania is here. Look at Melania, so beautiful. Mrs. Trump, you have a glow like an expectant widow.
That was 3 days before the shooting. Monday morning, the First Lady posted on X, his monologue about my family isn't comedy, his words are corrosive, and they deepen the political sickness within the country. The president later said the joke was a, quote, despicable call to violence, and added that Kimmel should be immediately fired by Disney and ABC.
Now, just a little disclaimer. I know that because of the shooting that took place, that's what it looks like. But let's be honest, I think it was more because of his age. Okay, I think he was talking about him being an old guy next to her. But, his apology is what I have a problem with. He could have just said it, and be done with it. But he decided to try to be funny and continue with the stupid rhetoric. And I think that's why I have no respect for him.
Kimmel, for his part, is not backing down, had this to say on the show last night.
It was a very light roast joke about the fact that he's almost 80 and she's younger than I am. It was not, by any stretch of the definition, a call to assassination, and they know that. I agree that hateful and violent rhetoric is something we should reject. I do, and I think a great place to start to dial that back would be to have a conversation with your husband about it.
Joining me now is Bill Carter.
You think that's an apology? I don't think that's an apology. The guy is a jackass. I have no respect for him. Buckle. I don't care about Jimmy Kimmel.
Editor-at-large of LateNighter.com. Also CNN media analyst Sarah Fisher, who is a media correspondent at Axios. So, Bill, what do you make of how Kimmel responded to the president and first lady? Do you think he has anything to be worried about at this point? Obviously, ABC and Disney have not taken him off the air.
Doesn't seem like he does. I think he responded very calmly and in character. I mean, he wasn't intimidated. He made jokes. He did say he clearly didn't want this to be implying violence.
Well, he's got millions supporting him and protecting him, so of course he feels confident. But he's a jackass.
I think he covered himself and gave, ABC and Disney a safe harbor in what they have to do, which is stand up to what is now a naked intimidation tactic.
100%, Tanya. Disney is not our children's friend. Not at all. I got Disney for free. I canceled that shit. I don't care if it's free. Just don't put no app, nothing. Get rid of that shit. All the movies that Disney does have that are kind of decent, it's just not worth all the corruption that they bring into the show. So it just. I said, you know what? I don't even take the kids to Disneyland anymore. I just don't support them, period.
Sir, how extraordinary is this FCC order that all ABC stations have to apply, local stations have to apply for license renewals within 30 days? This wasn't supposed to happen for another couple of years.
It's completely unprecedented, Anderson, for several reasons. One, as you note, they're expediting the review. We rarely see that happen. Typically, you just reapply for your license when it expires every 8 years. Two, they are citing this public interest standard, which is very rarely cited for things like DEI in going after these stations. And then three, you typically go after one broadcast station if you find that something that they did violated your rules. You don't go after every single station that's owned by a broadcast network. And so all of these things combined lead people to believe that Chairman Carr is going after Disney and ABC, trying to, impose a punishment for the way that they are covering things, as opposed to taking issue with what one broadcaster has actually done that could violate its rules.
Bill, do you think the FCC is going to try to make ABC stations' support for Kimmel a factor in whether their licenses get renewed? I mean, is this like the only lever the FCC has to pull right now against Disney?
I find that really astonishing. I mean, are they going to make the case that his speech is somehow to be condemned? I mean, clearly, ABC is going to say the man has a First Amendment right, and we're going to stand up for it. I don't think that'll in any way fly. I mean, look, this is part of his retribution tour. I mean, he's going after people who criticize him or make fun of him, or in James Comey's case, didn't support him. And Kimmel is obviously a person that irritates him, and he doesn't back down. And he gets people like Carr and the people in the Justice Department to do this, even though they have to know there's no case to be made here. This is harassment. And really, it's just an effort that I think is going to fail, because I can't see Disney caving into this. It's irritating to them, and it's certainly stress on Kimmel, but I can't see them backing down. It's too important.
Sir, I mean, Brendan Carr certainly has a record here of backing up things it seems like the president wants done. I want to play a clip from December when Carr was asked by Democratic Senator Ben Ray Lujan about the agency's independence.
So is your website wrong? Is your website lying?
Possibly. The FCC is not an independent agency.
Okay, can I read this to you? The FCC's mission on the homepage of the FCC, man. An independent U.S. government agency overseen by Congress. Is that factual or is that a lie?
The FCC is not formally an independent agency.
Is this true?
I mean, is the FCC an independent agency?
Yes, and Anderson, when that exchange happened, I took a screenshot of the FCC's website right as he was saying that, and a half hour later, they had actually scrubbed the word independent from the website. So you can kind of see that they're sort of making up their interpretation of what the agency's role is in real time. The FCC is supposed to act independently from the executive branch. And by the way, so is the DOJ. So are so many of these, agencies. But in the Trump administration, it's been a trend that he is trying to sort of consolidate power over what are supposed to be these independent branches. For Brendan Carr, I got to say, this has been surprising. In all the many years that he served as a lawyer at the FCC, of course, he was conservative, but he was not somebody that seemed to be in the pocket of any one president or political figure. He seemed to have made this sort of 180-degree switch once he became the chairman, I think likely to keep his position. We see how Donald Trump acts towards his members of his cabinet and his administration when they don't fall in line.
It's so interesting to see all these characters pop up in all these different places willing to do whatever it takes, it seems, to please the President of the United States.
Members of the Trump administration sometimes seem a bit selective in what they consider beyond the pale when it comes to jokes, because frankly, we've heard plenty of jokes from Trump and his allies about actual attacks that had happened in the past, including that brutal 2022 hammer attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband, Paul, which left him severely injured and traumatized by a lunatic with a hammer.
Well, maybe Paul Pelosi needs the hammer instead of the metal.
Well, it's metal. All right, Rachel. Good to see you.
We will stand up to crazy Nancy Pelosi, who ruined San Francisco. How's her husband doing, by the way? Anybody know? And she's against building a wall at our border, even though she has a wall around her house, which obviously didn't do a very good job.
The apple did not fall far from the tree. Donald Trump Jr. posted on Instagram around that same time, "Got my Paul Pelosi Halloween costume ready. It's underwear."
I don't think that's funny. I'm laughing because it's stupid. But I don't think that's funny either.
And a hammer. Why is that funny? Her husband was hit in the head with a hammer and he's still injured. Why does anybody think that's funny? Republican officials and pundits have also taken issue with people calling Trump fascist or a tyrant, saying that that sort of rhetoric leads others to commit acts of violence.
The entire Democrat Party has made their pitch to voters across the country that Donald Trump poses an existential threat to democracy, that he is a fascist, and that they compare him to Hitler. I mean, these are despicable statements that the American people have been consuming for years. And so many mentally perturbed individuals are led to believe these words are truth and then are inspired to act on it.
Okay, I hear that. What's the response to this?
We pledge to you that we will root out the communists, Marxists, fascists, and the radical left thugs that live like vermin within the confines of our country, that lie and steal and cheat on elections, the threat from...
Now, I've actually said that. Because we today, and we have seen this over and over, listen, nobody is right to say the things that they're saying, whatever, freedom of speech. But let me tell you something. When you as a figure, like what President Trump is not saying, go kill people. I'll finish listening to this. I will say this. I've been asking for President Trump to call on the 1954 Commie Act. I think that it needs to be placed. Everything that he just said about the Democrats, liars, and all these snakes in Congress and the Senate and government, whether it be rhinos, whether it be fake Democrats, it doesn't matter. They need to be taken out of office, period. Now, he didn't go over there and say 86 anybody else, right? Everything that he just said, I've said myself on this channel. Because that's the way that they treat us. They make us look like we are the animals. But we know every single time that we look on the news, and even when you go on the streets, what do you see? The same people that keep supporting the socialist Democrat programs are the same ones committing all this violence all the time. It is crazy.
Outside forces is far less sinister, dangerous, and grave than the threat from within. Our threat is from within. She's a Marxist, communist, fascist, socialist.
That last
and that's true. And I will agree with him only because the leftist people have told me this over and over and over, and I think it's just time for us to say it right back to them. I know two wrongs don't make a right, but you get tired of listening to this BS. I don't think anything is funny. I think Junior was wrong for making fun of Pelosi's husband. It doesn't matter how much I don't like Pelosi. He should have never said that. All right, so just to give you guys a little breather here from that stressful video from CNN, here is a few minutes of Tony and his LC Signs commercials. By the way, not sponsored, by the way.
And here is Mester of Germany, his first attempt in the javelin in the F-41.
Anyways, check out this LED sign we made for Nana. If you wish to customize LED signs like this, come to LC Sign.
I want to know.
Me too. Who's your barber? Anyways, if you own a business, your sign matters more than you think. We make custom LED signs for restaurants, shops, bars, salons, and more. Send your logo and size for a quote. Anyways, if you need a sign like this, check out a link in our bio. Just enter the text you need and you will see the price. Our signs have CE and UL certifications with a 3-year warranty. Click the link in our bio for pricing.
Deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2SLGBTQIA+.
What is that? Anyways, take a look at this sign right here. This is a facelit trim cap sign with UV printing in the back of the acrylic with the backboard adopts a wall mount installation.
You see how I can't scan myself?
Yeah.
It's because I'm priceless.
Oh, you're worthless. Bruh. Anyways, if quality matters to you, LC Sign has you covered. We make custom logo signs with premier materials and expert craftsmanship.
You're telling me that after guys pee, they don't wipe? They don't...
Anyways, this can be made into any shape. This right here, it is bright and lightweight, no MOQ. Shipping to most countries by DHL and FedEx only take 3 to 5 days. Wait. Come here. Wait. The fuck are you doing out there? Anyways, new pylon sign ready to shine. Factory made from start to finish. Strong, long-lasting, and eye-catching on the street. Today we're looking at the largest seed in the world, the butternut. Anyways, if you care about quality, you will see how we make custom LED signs. You can choose the type you like to customize your exclusive sign.
Dear Tic Tac, a size 14 is not plus size.
Yes, and I'm the real Donald Trump himself.
China, China, China. You can't trust anyone, but you can trust China, LC sign. Best service, best factory, best quality.
If a man tells you that he doesn't like you, you shouldn't just automatically believe him.
Anyways, how to know if your spend on signs worthwhile? A simple ways to check if they have spare parts. LC sign would provide spare thread rods and nuts and sleeve nuts, suitable template with holes, transformer, or the adapter in the package.
My dad cheated on me, so now I'm gonna make sure that he regrets it. Story time.
Anyways, this is a very human design. Just generally slot it in and the installation is complete. Aren't these LED lanterns both beautiful and practical? Business owners, any thoughts on getting a set for this for your shop and install them? It's on sale on our website. The price is amazing. Link in bio to order.
I will definitely buy some signs from him as well. Just thought I'd give you that. Before we get to our actual clip of the day, I thank you guys for being here with me today. Before we listen to Pete Hegseth, I'm giving you just one of the clips from all the hours of this grilling that has happened. Other people were showing it live. I was going to show it live as well, but I had other things to do as well while I was listening to it. So we'll go ahead and watch this as well. But first of all, I want to say thank you to my members for becoming members. And if you want to support my channel, it doesn't matter how YouTube or people try to suppress us telling the truth. I'll appreciate it if you consider becoming members. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for liking this video. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and also share it. Get the word out there. Thank you, members. Woo! I don't know why it was playing on my monitor, but anywho, let's go ahead and get to the actual video that I want to show you guys. Thank you so much for being here with me. Let's just do it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I request unanimous consent to enter a number of documents into the record. The first of which is a statement from Corey Mills, First Sergeant, stating his forms and accounts of his military service are falsified. The second document is a picture of Corey Mills wearing a Bronze Star from 2019 before he ever got a Bronze Star. The third document is a document...
Wait a minute. Before we continue, who is this guy? Anybody know who this guy is?
Like, fuck, bro. That makes me nervous.
Who is this
guy? They tell me, grow up. Get over it. Let your community see you.
Uh-oh, watch out.
Here I am. Here I am.
That's real fishing for life, guys. Real fishing for life.
What I gotta tell you.
He don't know. He's live on his live. Live on the Dennis Herrera show.
But I'm not. My real friends, JD, Chuck, Krista, my real friends tell me, get over it. People don't buy the band.
He don't know. He don't know we're
spying on him. They don't care about your brand. They care about you. Let's see you. Well, guess what? Here I am. Here I am. I'm the same guy that sent you super chats. That's mine and my wife's money. We work hard for our money. She never questions me. Ever. Never, ever questions me. Ever. We're going to keep supporting the people that support us. If you don't like me, get the hell out of my chat. I don't care. If everybody likes me, I'm doing something wrong.
He's learning from the Dennis Herrera show. This is Real Fishy for Life. Real Fishy for Life, ladies and gentlemen.
Other channels, that's not just my money. That's mine and my wife's money.
He's got 529 subscribers. He's getting up there, moving up there, getting his job done. Let's give him a like. We're going to join the live panel. I am showing your live on my live here on the Dennis Herrera show. Oh man, there you go. Let's see if he replies. Let's see if he looks at the comments.
Easy about it.
Let's see if he looks at the comments. This is fun for me, guys. I know we're losing all the viewers. That's fine. But this is Real Fishy for Life right here, man. Here we go. We're flipping the camera.
When I'm done, I'm going to take you down to the pond. I might take the pole. I probably won't. I'm too freaking tired.
Mowing the lawn. What a hard job. John Anthony, why you green? Did you become a member? Oh, watch out. Same time as Roberto?
My fat ass right now.
John Anthony. Thank you, brother. Oh, watch out. Appreciate you, man. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for doing that. Real Fisher for Life, man. You got to read the comments. What's going on? Oh, that's messed up. Hey, be nice. Well, he can't read. Obviously, he's driving his John Deere, probably. His John Deere lawnmower. I don't know. I really don't know what he's driving. All right, just wanted to give him a little love. You guys check out his channel. It's he likes to fish and all this other stuff. He's trying to get his thing going. God bless you, brother. My love to you. My love to you. God bless you. My love to you and your wife. Oh, it looks like a John Deere to me. Looks like a John Deere to me. All right, big shout out from the Dennis Herrera show. Everybody on our channel, Tanya, Man, Brian, everybody on here, Robert, they're all saying hello to you. Be blessed, Jerry. God bless you and your family. We are with you, brother. Be blessed. All right. Now we can go ahead and continue with our actual segment here, Pete Hexeth.
That conveys a Bronze Star medal and his life-saving care to the wounded, and according to the soldiers who were there, they said it never happened, according to the men who were there. The next document is a transcript of a conversation I had with Brigadier General Arnold Gordon Bray, who confirmed that he did not review, did not read, did not physically sign the form, DD, I guess 638, form 638, that Mills submitted for a Bronze Star. And to be candid, he said, quote, I didn't look at it. I asked to review the email that he sent to Mills' staff about authorizing his signature for a form he did not review, and he said that he would not share it with me. That's a future subpoena. I would like to enter to record a picture of Corey Mills, who says this is the second time he got blown up, but what he wouldn't tell people that the blood on the pant leg in this photo is the blood of Sergeant Ray. It is not Corey Mills' blood. In the same series of photos he shares when he said he was, quote, blown up, are images of a Humvee that exploded with severe damage. That is not his Humvee. His Humvee purportedly was 50 yards away and suffered no damage and was not blown up. This is a copy of Corey Mills' marriage certificate with a 9/11 imam at a 9/11 mosque, entered for the record and redacted, with family members' names redacted and protected. This is a picture of Corey Mills with a purported Russian hooker in Afghanistan, which he, of course, denies. And then last but not least, I would like to request unanimous consent to enter into the record a restraining order against Corey Mills for dating violence. Thank you. I just buried my father on Thursday, Mr. Chairman. My father died with shrapnel in his body. He had 3 tours of combat, 2 in Vietnam, 1 in 1965 during the coup d'etat of the Dominican Republic. And I take stolen valor seriously because we have men and women in uniform that have given their lives. And an individual that steals the stories of dead soldiers or injured soldiers have no right to serve in this body, let alone on this committee. And so I take it very seriously. I want to thank you, Mr. Secretary, and the folks that serve under you in the Department of War. As my father lay dying on April 14th, there was only one thing that calmed him down, that gave him the courage to pass on to the next life. And that was for me to read stories and testimony from 3 different soldiers that we didn't have, our family previously didn't have. We've been doing a lot of research on my father's service when he received the Distinguished Service Cross with V device in 1968 in Dong Zai. He rescued every man in that battle, in that firefight, over a 2-day period. He rescued them dead or alive on his own. He stood up to take fire over and over and over again. He called on artillery, heavy artillery, onto his position. Within 100 meters of his position, the man should have never made it out of Vietnam alive. And in fact, his commanding officers kept him back in many cases because they thought he was on a suicide mission because he was just so dangerous out there. But he saved the lives of so many soldiers. And so as he was taking his final breaths, I was provided by the Department of the Army some testimony of soldiers we didn't have, and diagrams and information. It was the one thing that calmed him down so that he could pass away knowing that he was a war hero and knowing that Jesus loved him. And it changed our family's life, and it changed his life in his last moments, his last breaths, his last hours. And for that, I am so grateful for the ship that you're running at the Pentagon and the Department of War. I have heard from people in the way that you're trying to innovate and trying to change the way we do business there. And I'm glad that you're firing people. There are people there that are getting in your way. They need to go. And the efficiencies that you want to bring, whether it's shipbuilding, whether it's cyber, whether it's AI, whether it's public-private partnerships, we have never seen a secretary at the Department of War who has been as innovative as you have. So I can't say enough good things about you right now. I was impressed. I was concerned about troops on the ground in Iran early on, and I was impressed with where we are today, how those soldiers were evacuated that got in that flight that crashed. But everything I have seen, you have surpassed all of my expectations, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, and God bless you.
Gentlelady yields back. Chair now recognizes the gentleman from Maine, Mr. Golden.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good morning, Mr. Secretary and General Kane. I'd like to use my time to drill down on an important decision concerning America's surface fleet. That is the future of the DDG-51 Flight 3 destroyer. Everyone on this committee knows about the Navy's struggles to successfully design, manage, and field new classes of ships. To name a few examples, I'll highlight the Littoral Combat Ship, the Zumwalt-class destroyer, and the recently canceled Constellation-class frigate. By any measure, the Arleigh Burke-class destroyer has been a highly successful program that continues to deliver the Navy a large surface combatant it can depend on. So the Zumwalt-class destroyers were going to replace the Arleigh Burke. It's a ship with some interesting capabilities, but the Navy rushed to construction before the design was complete, and it lacked a workable weapon system that the Navy wanted to outfit it with. So the Navy scrapped the program at 3 ships and went back to the DDG. I'm in my 8th year on this committee, and the entire time I've been in conversation with the Navy publicly and privately about the latest Flight 3 destroyer and how critical a role it would play, and now is playing for the surface fleet. And yet even before we delivered one to the fleet, the Navy was already planning the DDG-X. I'm skeptical about the transition to yet another new class of surface ship given the troubles I've laid out already. From my perspective, we have a proven hull for an Arleigh Burke destroyer that is described by CNO after CNO again and again and again as the backbone of the Navy's surface fleet. But now I'm even more skeptical. The proposal cuts production of the destroyer down to just one ship, scraps the future destroyer, and proposes $17 billion to build just a single new battleship, a class of ship the Navy decommissioned in 1992. Mr. Secretary, when you visited Bath Iron Works, you discussed this budget proposal with shipbuilders. You said, quote, "We're maxing out on DDGs. It's a workhorse, and it's a damn good workhorse." You were right about the DDGs. They are a workhorse. They're cost-efficient, deadly effective, and feared by our enemies. And I'm wondering why would we move on so quickly from a relatively new Flight 3 destroyer that's the gold standard for ballistic missile and drone defense capabilities. It's a ship that's proven itself time and again, recently in the Mediterranean, Persian Gulf, and the Taiwan Strait. I understand the Navy wants to field hypersonic missiles, but look no further than the 3 Zumwalt ships that the Navy has in the fleet that have been refitted with vertical launch tubes capable of delivering hypersonic missiles at a great payload at over 17,000 miles this year. Perhaps what's most troubling to me is that the battleship plan proposes moving at a pace that is, I think, extremely dangerous, or just high risk, low reward. To begin construction so quickly, breezing right through design. It's well documented that expediting design and preemptively moving to construction is the greatest recipe for failure. This represents an unacceptable cost to taxpayers if it fails and leaves America less secure and our Navy less prepared. I understand the proposed battleship was a bit of a dream child of the recently departed Secretary of the Navy. I want to remind everyone here that recent history is littered with failed efforts to replace existing successful programs that remain the best in class worldwide. This isn't the failure of shipbuilders or sailors. It's a failure by leaders to learn a simple lesson. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. My sincere hope is that you, the Navy, and the Congress will pump the brakes on this battleship. Take the time to get it right, whatever it is. And for now, focus on the workhorse you can depend on. America cannot afford a surface fleet without a backbone.
I very much appreciate that perspective. And the idea of divesting of an asset that's indispensable right now is not just a Navy problem. I mean, we've seen the same on MQ-9s and Apaches and A-10s and systems that our warfighters continue to rely on, which is why divesting to invest, which was sold under the previous administration because of continuing resolutions and insufficient budgets, created a gap where now you're getting rid of the very things that you need right now, and you don't have available things of the future that you said you would have because of the way this department did business. Always overcost, always delayed. So there's one destroyer, one Arleigh Burke-class destroyer in this budget because, and I hate to even say it, I'm not going to say it in an open hearing, how many years behind we are in the backlog of building the Arleigh Burke-class destroyers. So the bulk of the money goes into shipbuilding to fix that, ensure we can get new places to build more faster. Then you can fund additional, either whether it's this class or the next class. But the Arleigh
We're almost over time. I'm going to reclaim and just say in my last seconds here, careful with the pace moving through design to construction so quickly as proposed by this budget. Thank you.
Gentlemen's time's expired. As announced earlier, we're going to now recess until 10 minutes past the hour of 1.
Man, we got to recess. My butt is falling asleep. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys already know that I have to pick up the wifey. That's the whole reason for. But you know what? I always have such a good time, with you guys. I wish that we had, better interaction from those that disagree with us. I really do. I would like to have a conversation with them, but as long as they hate Trump, it's just never going to happen. I'm afraid that's just the way it is. I had a caller yesterday, I believe it was. He called in and he was just fed up. He wants to go to war. I'm calling an Ilhan Omar moment. He wants to go to Civil War II. We don't want that. We want our enemies to pay, not our brothers and sisters here in the States. It's a big difference. I will see you guys later today. God bless you and your family. God bless the USA every single day. Hey, Robert, and especially John, thank you so much for becoming members. Well, upgrading, I guess, your membership. I appreciate that. You guys are now sergeants, I believe. We'll see you guys on the next one. You all be blessed.